All right, everyone, welcome back into another props video. Give me touch on the top prop bets for Taco Tuesday. That's right, it's profit day. Let's go ahead and get into it. So let's go ahead and start out with some MLB props that we are getting today. We are getting a bunch of pretty good hitting fantasy score prop bets. So like Stephen Kwan for over his hitting fantasy score, that's a good one. We can see the average sportsbook line would have this closer to about 8 for the hitting fantasy score, so that's a good one that we are getting. Ranger Suarez for under pitching strikeouts, if that is still there at 6.5, by all means, go ahead and use that one. That should not be at 6.5. We can already see Underdog has bumped that down. The reason why that has been bumped down is because it has about a 56% chance for the under to hit. So that's a very good edge that we are getting on PrizePicks today. From there, if you want to go with Diaz for over his hitter fantasy score, you can. I actually like O'Neal Cruz for under his fantasy score a little bit better today, just simply because we can kind of see that the PrizePicks projection is more the outlier rather than the underdog line, and the projection data and the average sportsbook line. Like in comparison, the PrizePicks line is the outlier data point there. So yes, I would agree with that we should be betting the under. Now, O'Neal Cruz is obviously someone that can get a steal, can get a hit, run, RBI. Like we get that. And if he gets a hit and a steal, he's basically getting his over there. So there's a little bit of concern there, but for the most part, that's already being factored in. If you guys don't like the under here, obviously you can just bet the over on Underdog where it's a little bit of a better payout. From there, we are getting some other good ones, but I really like this one as well. Just, comparing this line to the other lines that are out there, we can also see that the PrizePicks line is going to be the outlier here as well. So Alvarez to get over 7.5 for a hitting fantasy score is a good one. Now, this is one of the best prop bets that we had yesterday as well, and it missed. So like a little bit of a bitter spot with him today, given the fact that he missed yesterday, but still a good prop bet on the board today. And then actually the best ones that we had yesterday, the ones that I like to use, are actually going to be these pitching fantasy score prop bets where they're over 54% for the edge. To me, these are going to be the ones that are easier for both PrizePicks and Underdog, really for the sportsbooks to project on a day-to-day basis, because it's easier to predict strikeouts, hit runs, RBIs, and whatnot. I've mentioned that a decent amount. So Carlos Rendon for over his pitching fantasy score of 23.5 is a good one on paper. And I do think it's worth calling out another pitching prop that we have. We have a 2 for a prop line difference between the PrizePicks and Underdog pitching fantasy score here. The day is pretty much telling us that it should be in the middle here, with the average sportsbook line having this set at 36.5, with the projection data having it set at 36.5 as well. So we can see on Underdog, it's probably slightly too low. On PrizePicks, probably slightly too high. That's not exactly one I feel like we need to go out of our way to use, but if you want to, you could. And I do think it's worth calling out the Aaron Judge line as well, a decent prop bet that we are getting there as well. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into NBA. So guys, I did come out with some NBA prop bets as well. I already came out with that video. That's more specifically for just general NBA betting, not PrizePicks and Underdog related. As you know, with Underdog, we are trying to find the best EV bets that give us the best long-term profit, and that's what we're trying to do today. If you guys want to roll with these first two, Trey Murphy for over his points, Anthony Davis for over his rebounds, you can. These have been bumped to the point where they are being valued as pushes. And same thing with LeBron James as well. Those are being valued as pushes. Personally, I don't want to use those because of that. From there, though, like if you want to roll with Kawhi Leonard for under his 6.5 rebounds, you can. If you want to go with Pods for over his 0.5 three-pointers, you can. Trey Young for under rebounds and assists, you can do that as well. The one that I actually like the most, and I would say these two actually do correlate together, is going to be TJD for under his fantasy score of 24.5. Now, the projection data doesn't like him. I'm guessing, it's a minutes thing, and so that's the biggest question mark for someone like him. Is he going to get that much run, or are they going to give it to Kevon Looney? Is he going to get more run? Is Draymond Green just going to be going up against Sabonis defensively? Or are we going to see, are we going to see Green and then Kuminga playing more, or is it going to be Jackson Davis at the 5 and Green in there a little bit more? So that's the biggest question mark that we have. And so with Kuminga projected to get 26 minutes, that's kind of what the data is telling us. I would say these two do correlate though. So like if Jackson Davis isn't getting his over fantasy score, I would say that increases the likelihood of Jonathan Kuminga getting his over fantasy score, and kind of vice versa as well. So if you guys are like, I actually think Jackson Davis is going to have a good day, then you probably just want to do the opposite. But yeah, I'm going to be rolling with Jackson Davis for under his fantasy score. So with that quick, easy video, guys, let's go on and get into the bet of the day for Taco Tuesday. All right, so looking at the bet of the day today, got the 6 best prop bets on the board currently. I always like to phrase it that way because, yes, the board is consistently updating throughout the day. Chances are this one does get bumped, but I did want to include that because that's currently the best one. If you guys can use that with the early taco, by all means, go for it. But yeah, looking at it, guys, I do have this in terms of priority. I'm going to try to do that more consistently, like down the list. So like this would be 1, 2, 3, you know, like that. But again, I want to point out what we're trying to do with the bet of the day, specifically on Taco Tuesday. Now, if you guys have a different strategy that's working for you guys, by all means, go for it. I like to give my advice based off of helping the most amount of people, you know, possible. If you guys are someone that's doing 5 slip bets, 6 slip bets on Taco Tuesday, that's correct. And if it's working, by all means, go for it. What I like to do is I like to tell people to just take the free money that they're trying to give to you guys on Taco Tuesday. And what I mean by that is pair that taco up 5 times individually. So you do one with the taco with Rendon, then you do Ranger Suarez, then you do O'Neal Cruz, Alvarez, and then Jackson Davis. Or if you like this one better, you could do that. Do that because that way you only need to hit 5 bets total on the day to break even. If you hit 6 bets, you're profiting $15. And if you can like consistently profit, let's say around $50 a week on Taco Tuesday, that's right, an extra $200. Basically, you're profiting about $2,000 per year just by betting smart on Taco Tuesday, which that doesn't sound bad to anyone, right? But that's going to be all for today's video. Oh, if you guys want kind of more information as to Taco Tuesday strategy, there is a link in the description below that highlights that. All right, but that's gonna be all for today's video, guys. Make sure to head on over to 9to5sports.com if you guys want access to the 9to5 cheat sheet. It's available for $10 a month. Included in that is gonna be access to some fantasy golf tools as well. But that's gonna be all for today's video. Good luck today, and as always, let's keep cashing.